Hey there guys, what's going on? I'm Aarointheknee, or Shane from Yugioh Masters, and today we're going to be looking at something that's been so widely requested it's unreal, and I didn't think I'd have to do this, but hey, whatever, I'm here for you guys, I'm here for you. Alright, so what people have been asking is about pendulums, how to pendulum. Even though it's been out for quite a while, it's kind of confusing to some people. And firstly, before we start, I'm going to say penduluming is much more simple than you think. They're really simple. It just seemed weird at first, and it is kind of weird. Alright, so we're going to look at these cards and whatever. I'm only going to show you three because I think you only need to see three. This is Aarointheknee Eccentric, and this is actually one of the more expensive cards that's actually came around. This is about £30, United Kingdom, so that'd be about $50-ish. I'm not sure about the proper conversion rates, but I'm going to look at this and look at the card in general. So if you can look, pendulums are spells and monsters at once, and I think that's very cool. It's taken Yu-Gi-Oh! 10 years, over 10 years to get to the point where they've mixed them. And hey, it looks a bit funny, but I think it looks really cool, honestly. So the top half shows that it's orange or brownish, which means it's an effect monster, so it has an effect, and the bottom is a spell card. So firstly, spell and effect. So it has two boxes with effects. This one's a spell, the one right here. You can target one other spell or trap card in the field, destroy both it and this card, and you can only use that once per turn. So it's basically like destroy itself, kill something else. Now these top effects, the spell effects, happen while they're in the pendulum zones, and there are a pendulum zone on each side of the field, a left and a right. So that's pretty simple, right? A left and a right slot, and you can put pendulum monsters in either of them as spells, kind of like field cards. Yeah. So that's the thing. So that's the first bit. They got a spell effect. The second one is when they're in the monster zone. They're monsters as well. He's still a 3-star monster and all that jazz. So you can tribute this card, target one monster on the field, destroy it. Okay, that's cool as well. That's pretty simple. I think both of those effects are very simple and shouldn't be a problem. I think it's the pendulum scales and the pendulum summoning is what gets people a bit weird. So we're going to move on from this one because this one's got a kind of weird pendulum scale, and this one's actually going to be very useful later on in the game. We're going to look at a couple of cards that, how I would say, are very dominant in the game right now, and are very, in fact, the most simple pendulums of all. So we're going to look at the Cliffworks, and we're going to look at the two major ones that you want to use. So if you want to look at this, this guy is actually a non-effect monster. He's got yellow at the top and a spell at the bottom. Same with Clifford Monolith. Now, this one has these little things, these little crystals. These are pendulum scales. I think they're called pendulum. I'm fairly sure it's a pendulum scale. Now, this is a 9 pendulum scale. Now, if you look at the other one, the monolith, this is a 1. So this is a 9, this is a 1. And that's like, hey Shane, what are these weird things? Now, earlier on I said there's a left and a right pendulum zone. Now, if you have a pendulum in your left and your right, you can pendulum summon. So, hey, you know we wanted to use this as a spell. It stays there as like a continuous spell. This one will be on the left, this one will be on the right, and they both have their spell effects. This one has you can pay 800 life points, get a clear from your deck. That's cool. So these have their normal spell effects as normal, and on top they have these pendulum scales. So we have a 9 here and a 1 here. So a 9 and a 1. Now what this does is it allows us to pendulum summon once per turn. And here we go. This is what you're confused about, and it's not confusing at all. When you decide to pendulum summon, you say, hey, I'm going to pendulum summon now, is that okay? And someone's like, yeah, sure, I'm not going to use any spell cards to stop you or anything, or traps. You go, okay, I'm going to pendulum summon X amount of cards. And you can pendulum summon any monsters from the level between these two levels. So this is a level 1, this is a scale 1, and this is a scale 9. So you'd be like, okay, between those two numbers, that's 8 and 2. So you can special summon from your hand as many monsters as you want that are between those levels. So if you've got 6 Jinzos in your hand, you can special summon all those Jinzos. If you've got bunch of blue eyes white dragons. You can special summon all those blue eyes white dragons from your hand. It's actually quite powerful. And you can also special summon from face up in the extra deck. That's a bit strange, right? Face up in the extra deck. How does that work? And it's like, hey, another thing about pendulum monsters is when they die, they go to the extra deck. So if you we're actually going to pop a couple of these in here. If you were to have all of these monsters, these Clifford carriers, and all these discs, and you were to special summon them to the field with a pendulum, and they got destroyed by a torrential tribute, these would all go to the extra deck, face up. So they just, instead of going to the graveyard, they go to the extra deck. So next turn, you're like, hey, I still have these guys in my my Spell of Trap card zones. Let's special summon these all again, over again. And it's like, oh my god, I have all of these guys. It just refills the field. And that's why Cliffords are actually quite strong at the moment. That's not their main thing. They usually go for Wavering Towers. But that's also a thing they can do. It's quite strong, I would say. It's a lot of resources. The way to beat pendulums, and a lot of people have been looking at this and they're like, oh, I'm a bit scared, is that these, I mean, at the end of the day, these are continuous spell cards. They have the same problems as all continuous spells, as all field spells. They can be destroyed by a Mystical Space Typhoon, by a Mobius the Frostborn, by a Fairy Wind, by this, that, the other. It's very, very, very weak to Spell and Trap Destruction. Especially Spell and Trap Destruction that's quick play or a trap. Because if your opponent plays Scout and you kill it, it's like, fuck, there goes my turn. So, I hope this sheds a little bit of light onto this, and I hope I was able to explain it in the best way possible. So, what I'm going to do now is just run into a game, make a quick Clifford deck, and we'll just show you how to do this pendulum swing. So, I'll be back in a second. Alright, so we're going into game now, and hopefully, we'll be able to show you a pendulum summon, which is always nice. We're looking at the Wavering Towers Turbo, and we actually have opened the nuts here, the best possible hand, basically. So we're going to activate Clifford Scout into our left zone, so left. You activate left. Now, this is a pendulum zone, this is a pendulum zone. So we've got the spell effect right now, which is once per turn you can pay 800 life points, add one Klee monster from your deck to your hand. So let's do that. Let's pay 800, and we can do that because that's its spell effect. So let's do that. Why not, eh? So we're gonna go for Clifford Monolith, I think. So that's cool. We can search that. Absolutely fine. And in the right pendulum zone, we can activate Clifford Carry. This guy actually has no basic effect. His spell effect is Klee monster you control gain 300 attacks. That's basically nothing. Now we're going to play Wavering Eyes, which is actually the strongest card in this deck. What Wavering Eyes does is you destroy all pendulum guys in each zone. So we're going to kill 2. These go to the extra deck when they die though, so remember that. We're going to kill them both. And then we're going to add one pendulum monster from our main deck to hand. So, in doing so, we are going to add, I think, Apocryphal Towers. And this is how this deck works. This is actually kind of insane. So, now we go. Hey, we got no spaces used up. So here comes Scout. So you Scout again. It's not once per turn. Well, it is once per turn, but once per turn in a normal way. So we're going to just grab any Clifford, because any Clifford is fine right now. Activate Clifford on the right. Now, we have a 9 in the left and a 1 in the right. So now we can go Pendulum. So we're going to Pendulum summon as many monsters as we want from our hand and extra deck or extra deck that we want. So here comes Disc. He's a 7-star. We can special summon that because we've got 1 and a 9 here. And then from our extra deck, face up, we got Scout, who's a 5-star. So we're going to special summon him. And this guy, who's a 6-star. So we can special summon as many of those as we want. Now the deck works like this. You tribute those 3 for Apocryphal Towers. So when you tribute it, You pop them back to the extra deck, because that's where pendulums go when they go to the graveyard. Apocryphal Towers. Effect of Towers. He gets to choose to send a card, which is cool. It's fine. But this is basically how they work. It seemed a bit confusing to me at first. Oh no! Too many tokens! Yeah, but this is only a fun duel, so this guy's probably really mad that I summoned Apocryphal Towers. A lot of people get really upset with it. So that's basically it. That's it. By the way, Apocryphal Towers is unaffected by everything. You just can't kill it. It's its own win condition. Summoning this guy is like, he's basically a god card. He is so good, it's unreal. It's very hard to kill him. So I'm going to leave this here, guys. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this has answered a few of your questions. Hopefully, yeah, it's been useful. Leave some niceness in the comments for me, and hopefully this helped. See you guys around. Bye-bye.